There you have it, folks. My Licorice is alive with Alone Together, another all-time standard. Alone Together was composed in 1932 by the distinguished songwriting duo of Arthur Schwartz and Howard Dietz. It was originally sung as a ballad until Artie Shaw, the great clarinetist, impresario, one of my gods, he was the first to give it an instrumental life in jazz. Since then, Miles Dizzy and Sonny Rollins, Chet Baker, Paul Desmond, and others recorded it. I personally like it with a slightly up-tempo feel, as you heard, and my favorite version would be the Benny Golson version, which is available. Just look it up. You can find it, but that's me. I like it a little up-tempo. Okay, so welcome, folks, to... Guess what? We're here again, Rebel Without Applause, coming to you from the comfy confines of my movie studio apartment underneath the sign right here in the enchanted land of law. As always, I'm trying my best to break it down jazz-wise, joke-wise, culture-wise, and otherwise. And with the relentless demands of coming up with something new every week, it's so tempting for me to reach for the lowest hanging and ripest fruit. And this week, let's see, I'll pick this juicy apple, which comes in the form of a very credible rape accusation. Just so you know, as by way of definition, rape in the United States was for many years, until the Supreme Court intervened, a capital crime, meaning you could be electrocuted or hung for it if convicted. And if you were accused of it in the South and you were a black person, you would probably be lynched for it, which means you didn't even get the courtesy of a rigged trial. Or, even worse, if you were a black man and you just looked at a woman the wrong way, you could also be tied to a wagon wheel and dumped in the nearest slow-moving muddy river. All you have to do is ask Emmett Till. Well, actually, you can't ask Emmett Till because, well, Emmett Till is gone and has been gone for a very long time. But for the billionaire brat boy, the predator-in-chief, I would bet my last surfboard that when he ambled into that swanky Manhattan department store 2 decades ago, no such trepidation ever crossed his eagle-addled feral brain. He saw his prey, he charmed his prey, he bullied his prey, and then he took. And what he took from his prey, he can never give back. And for some sad reason, the prey, one E. Jean Carroll, a lovely lady of New York celebrity and talent, well, she kept her pretty mouth shut. She did, as so many victims have done before her. Out of fear or shame or whatever, she put that rape in a box and stuffed it in the back of her closet. And she put that overcoat that was yanked off of her on a hanger outside her closet, where it has been dangling in front of her eyes ever since. I wonder if an inquisitive New York prosecutor might want to check that overcoat for some brat boy DNA that might still be clinging to that garment. I'm sure that brat boy DNA is way bigger and hardier than, ordinary human DNA. My bet is you wouldn't even need a microscope to find it. A quick inspection would very likely reveal a crusty, quarter-sized spot of splooge splattered over a button. Scrape a little off, put it in the centrifuge, add the requisite chemicals, dash a drop on a slide, slip it under a lens, focus, and you'll see it plain as day. Brat boy DNA screaming, "Prosecute me, please." Anyway, please, folks, forgive my indulgence. I'm just spitballing, fantasizing, if you will. But still, there is no statute of limitations for first-degree rape in New York. And if that Donna Karan overcoat is still on the hook, maybe, just maybe, the PVP might be also. Gee whiz, wouldn't it be fun to see Harvey, that being Harvey Weinstein, and the cause and the PvP all hanging together in the yard? Talk about a cool episode of Lockup on MSNBC. Get those three in a group therapy sesh. Let my favorite lesbian, Mad Dog Maddo, moderate. Oh my God. Talk about reality TV ratings through the fucking roof. Hey, come on. I'm allowed to dream, aren't I? Okay, what else? There must be another low hanger right here for the taking. Oh, of course, yeah. But for the good graces and infinite wisdom of the all-too benevolent Predator-in-Chief, we almost stumbled into a shooting war with, one of the oldest civilizations on Earth. By that I mean those pesky Persians who have a really big country over there next to the Gulf of whatever it is. Oh yeah, the Gulf of Oman and the Straits of Hormuz and the Caspian Sea. Persia, it has about 80 million folks crammed within its Iranian borders and has been around as a country about 2,000 years longer than the good old USA. Pesky Persians, by the way, can also be found in significant numbers in Beverly Hills or Encino or Studio City or Tarzana or along Westwood Boulevard, which is also known as Little Persia or Tehrangeles. And here's a tip for you foodies. Take a ride through Tehrangeles, look for that familiar Arabic script, and I'll bet you a copy of Omar Khayyam's Rubaiyat that you'll find saffron rice and beef, lamb, or chicken kebab that will make your mouth water and your eyes roll into the back of your head. Folks, believe it or not, those pesky Persians here in Tehrangeles, why, they even have their own radio station right here in the land of La. Why, an Iranian heart surgeon even saved my father's life. And did you know Iranian doctors, lawyers, accountants, actors, and artists are living and loving amongst us at this moment by the frigging thousands? So what happened? Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah. Apparently, those irritating Iranians over there in the Gulf of Encino, or whatever it's called, shot down a Predator drone. Frankly, I can't blame them. I find drones extremely irritating. They hover over you without permission, taking endless pictures and video. I personally see them all the time surfing when the waves are big. You can bet there are a bunch of drones buzzing over the lineup filming the surf carnage at Malibu. I've seen them there many a time. Anyway, with Predator drones flying over their heads, some pesky Persian military dude got sufficiently and justifiably irritated and decided to take a shot at said drone, and lo and behold, the shot found its mark, and that unmanned flying machine tumbled out of the sky, crashing with a fiery thud into the Iranian desert. And guess what, folks? Lo and behold, we had ourselves a full-fledged international no-holds-barred frigging incident. Now, immediately I was reminded of another incident involving Americans poking around somebody else's front yard. But this time it wasn't in the Gulf of Oman, but in another gulf in another neighborhood far from U.S. shores. The aforementioned incident took place in August of 1964 in a body of water that was called the Gulf of Tonkin. Now, a few clicks on Google Earth will reveal that the Gulf of Tonkin is situated just off the front porch of what was then called North Vietnam. Now, it's just plain old Vietnam because, Ho Chi Minh and his boys won the war. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, the Gulf of Tonkin. So, two American destroyers, one called the Maddox, the other called the Turner Joy, were cruising around in the front yard of North Vietnam in the Gulf of Tonkin in early August of 1964 when apparently somebody, I don't know who, shot a BB gun or a spit wad or maybe even an honest-to-God man-killing bullet at one or both of those destroyers. To this day, nobody knows for sure who shot or what hit the destroyers. Probably nothing. I don't know. Maybe it was bird shit, but the verdict is still out. But that didn't really matter. because President Lyndon Johnson and his bespectacled Defense Secretary Robert McNamara got wind of this incredibly provocative and aggressive incident by those incredibly provocative and aggressive North Vietnamese commies. Back in the day, they were called Viet Cong. Think King Kong in a conical straw hat with an AK-47 slung over his shoulder. That's how scary they seemed to us poor Americans. And lo and behold, following this incident, Lyndon and Mac had what they wanted, a full-fledged reason to kick commie fucking ass. They had a casus belli, which in Latin means an act that justifies war. You know, like Pearl Harbor or 9/11 or Fort Sumter or weapons of mass delusion or, I don't know, maybe even raping a chick in a department store. So, with the Gulf of Tonkin incident, Lyndon Johnson and Bob McNamara got their war. Within months, hundreds of thousands of soldiers, sailors, and Marines poured into Southeast Asia, as did 1 trillion tons of bombs and defoliant, until some 10 years later, right around the time I graduated high school and became legally eligible to kill and be killed, by that I mean drafted, the war ended in ignominious defeat for the United States, but not before 59,000 American souls and about 2 million Vietnamese souls were harvested from this earth and dispatched to the big beyond. So, the moral of the story, well, actually, there's very little morality in this story, but if you can find any, beware of incidents, especially in Gulfs. Gulf of Tonkin, Gulf of Oman, or even the Gulf of Mexico, for that matter. They can lead to destruction, death, disease, deforestation, famine, regime change, revolution, genocide, you name it, nothing good. And also be very wary of predators bearing those incidents or incidents bearing those predators. Gee whiz, I don't know. I think... I think I'm getting way too cute for my metaphors here. Whatever. I think you folks get my drift. So, there you have it. I think that's enough fruit to chew on for this week. And while we're here, here's a reminder. Don't forget to check out my audio production of Shakespeare's Othello on episodes 12 through 16, all here on Rebel Without Applause, the Bill Calmanson podcast. And till next time, folks, adios. Goodbye and salam, merci.